Hello there, my name's Debbie and I work at Careerpilot. While students are working from home, we decided to put together a session in which Year 10 students can get to use Careerpilot to find out more about their post-16 options. In this presentation, I'm going to show you the main parts of Careerpilot that can be used to find out more about your options, and at the end of the session I'll switch my screen to show you the various parts of the website and how to access each part. Here goes. So, to get you thinking about your future careers, here's a little activity for you to get started. So, you might notice there are no vowels within these jobs. These are all common jobs that you've probably heard about, and some of you may even want to be one of these certain jobs. So take a look and try and work out what these jobs are. Remember, it's the vowels that are missing. I'll give you a few moments. Okay, well done. So here are the answers. So fingers crossed that was just an easy warm-up to get you started. So you know about jobs, but how do you get the job that you want in the future? The future is changing, and obviously with everything that's going on at the moment with coronavirus, jobs may change. But what would you like to be doing in the future? Would you like to be a key worker? Would you like to work in healthcare? Or would you like to work in retail? There's any number of jobs out there, and today you're going to try and spend some time trying to find out which one you would like to do. There are different jobs as well, so some jobs haven't even been invented yet. So you might find that you want to be something and it might change because the job will appear or not. Statistics show that by the time you're 42, you'll have had 10 jobs. So that's a lot of investigating to do. You started to think about your future career. This short video will show you a little bit more.
Imagine your life in 10 years' time. Are you being driven to work in your electric car? Eating meatless burgers for lunch with robots cleaning your home? Technology is changing jobs. In 10 years, there'll be lots of new jobs, while others will change or simply disappear. You're likely to be in work for 50 years and have at least 10 different jobs by the time you're 42. Seem like a long way off? A happy future starts with some of the decisions you take in the next few years. So to get ready for careers, what should you be doing now? Firstly, know yourself. You are unique. You have likes, dislikes, strengths, qualities, and things you value that are important to you. These things can help you identify a future career. You have skills too, from school, hobbies, work, or volunteering. Imagine you are learning something new, like photography or rock climbing. You will use a range of different skills. Many of these are transferable. Skills that you can take from one job to another. Employers love these. The second thing you can do is do stuff. Trying out new stuff makes you feel good about yourself and builds transferable skills. For example, you may or may not pass your driving test first time. It doesn't matter. Learning new things develops transferable skills and increases your ability to bounce back and keep trying. That's called resilience. Skills can lead to part-time jobs, useful cash, and jobs in the future. You can also talk about these skills on job applications and in interviews. So you know what you like and you're good at. You're trying new things and building skills and experiences. What else can you do? The third thing you can do is to make sure you know all your options. Do you know what qualification and grades you need? Will the course or training help you on your journey? Which option would be best for you? And if your plan A looks watertight, always have a plan B and even a plan C just in case. The fourth thing is to make sure you use your supporters. Teachers, family, friends and coaches know you well. They'll help you identify your strengths, skills and interests and help you on your way. If you can, grab a chance to talk to a careers advisor. You'll get individual help with your plan. They're professionally trained and have loads of up-to-date information. They'll listen to you, inspire you, and help you create a plan for the future. And there's Careerpilot too. A free website with all the careers information in one place, showing you all your options, including information on jobs, courses, and lots more. Use the career tools to find out more about you and save all of this in one place to share with your supporters. So to get ready for careers, what should you be doing now? Know yourself. Do stuff and develop your skills. Make sure you know all your options. Use your supporters. Your future starts now. Get ready.
Okay, so you've watched the video which helped you to think more about what you need to do in order to secure the future. So in order to do that, we're going to be using a website called Careerpilot today. So Careerpilot is a free website designed for Year 7 to Year 13, where you can find out lots of information about jobs, careers, college courses, etc. And then if you've got your own account, you can set up career tools and work your way through the various activities, bookmarking pages of interest and going back to those pages at a later time. You also build up a report, and this report can be shared with teachers, parents, friends, and it allows you to document things that you're interested in order to help you make those key decisions for your post-16 options. So you may have already used this in school, but you may be new to the website. So through this session, I'm going to talk to you about the various different parts of the site that you can use. So this is what the home page looks like, and you simply type Careerpilot into Google and it will be one of the top links that come up. So you can find out lots of information about apprenticeships, courses, etc. And as I said, you can log in and set up your own account. So these are the career tools, these are the different parts of the site that you can save and look back on at a later date. And this is where you find your full report that can be shared with your supporters. So the key parts of the site, the bits that people commonly use is they'll look at courses or jobs, or they might start with you and they'll find out more about themselves and they'll explore their options and they'll even start to plan their next steps. Some people might want to know about a particular qualification, or they might have in mind to do an apprenticeship. So again, there's a different entry point for people who want to go straight to the part of the site that they want to use to find out more. So we're going to be using this part of the site today, which is Start With You, and in there's lots of activities that people can do, and in particular Year 10 can do, to start thinking about their post-16 options. So you can click on activities for your age, and then because you're in Year 10, you can start to work through the activities that are suggested in there. And as I said, at the end of this session, I'll share my screen so you can see that and what it looks like. There are 5 things that we're asking you to do in order for you to help to find out more. So the first thing is, if you haven't used Careerpilot before, you're going to register on Careerpilot. If you have used the site before, you can sign in, and you simply need to remember the email address and password that you used. If you've forgotten your password, within the sign in box there is a forgotten password facility, and you simply need to click that in order to reset your password. Once you've registered or signed in, you're then going to spend some time exploring jobs and job sectors. There's a job quiz that you can do, and this is where you answer a series of questions and the system will generate some job sectors that you might be interested in looking at further. There's a skills map, and the skills map again is a quiz that you can fill in, and it will tell you more about the skills that you've obtained whilst you've been doing your work at school, or if you've been doing things outside of school like hobbies or part-time work or voluntary work. This is all recorded and the skills that you've achieved will be shown. This is really useful because then you can compare the skills that you've already got with the skills that different jobs require, and so you can start to think about what you might need to do to either build on your skills or develop new ones. Number 4 is where we're going to ask you to add your qualifications. So this is a record of all the different GCSEs that you're taking and perhaps planning the next stage, whether that's going on to do A-levels, BTECs or an apprenticeship. And finally, number 5 is where you get to find out more and do more exploration about the options available to you at 16, all the time bookmarking various pages that you'll be interested in going back to in year 11. So within Start With You, you'll click on activities by your age, or you can simply go straight to the quizzes and start looking at the quizzes to get started. This is a link to the Pre-16 skills map, and there's also the link to plan your qualifications. If you want to do more on the site, there's also Start With a Subject, and this allows you to start exploring jobs related to particular certain subjects. The job sector quiz looks like this, and as I said, you get to choose various different pictures of things that you think you might like to do in the workplace, and then at the end the system will generate your 4 matches, and this is where you can go into each of those 4 job sectors and start to find out more. So this student has got a really strong match with sports, leisure and tourism, so it might be that that's the first sector that they go in and explore. But equally, the other 3 that's been suggested have strong matches, and so it might be worthwhile going in and finding out more about the other 3 as well. And when you're thinking about those different jobs, think about relevant work experience that would be useful, that would lead to those jobs, and how you might sell yourself when it comes to applying at a later date. The Pre-16 skills map allows you to tick various things that you've been doing within school or outside of school, and then each of these is matched to a particular set of skills, and then eventually you'll end up with a skills bank which records your top to bottom skills. So again, showing you the things that you can confidently suggest that you've got, or skills that you might need to work on. And each of these are banked, and you can add to these later when you've done more things. And if you think that there are things that have not been captured, you can add your own examples. So for instance, you may have done unique things like volunteering during this particular crisis, or you might have been doing some extra work at home or helping with siblings. So anything that's not been captured within the quiz, you can easily add your own examples, and that will make it easier when you come to writing your CV or a personal statement for university, that much easier, because you'll have a record of all the great things that you've been doing. This is a qualifications planner, so this is where students can add the qualifications that they're currently taking. So for you it would be GCSEs, and then you can also plot your route through the different qualifications. So for instance, if you already think that you're going to stay on and do A-levels, you can tick that in level 3, or it might be that you're going to do an alternative qualification like a BTEC, or you might be thinking about an apprenticeship. And some of you will even be thinking at this early stage that you're going to go on to do an honours degree at university or some other qualification, and each of these is hyperlinked so you can find out more about the different qualifications available. So they're the qualification planner, and it would be good to add your qualifications again all the time, thinking about making it easier for you to write your CV. And all of these things then will be saved within your career tools. Your Explore Your Options is where you can find lots of different information about your choices at 16. So you simply click on Explore Your Options, Choices at 16, and find out more. If you want to look further into choices at 18, that's fine too. You simply need to tag or bookmark pages of interest, and you can easily come back to those later this year or when you start year 11. There are other things you can look at as well. So there's different pathways explained. Again, there's a link to job sectors so you can find out more about different jobs. Lots and lots of information for you to have a look at. So within the pathways, just to remind you or make you aware of the different pathways that are available to 16-year-olds. You could go on and do A-levels. These might be offered at the school where you're currently at, or you may have to go to a different sixth form or a sixth form college. You could do some vocational qualifications. These tend to be BTECs, and these are some are offered at schools, but usually colleges offer a wider variety. or you might decide that you want to leave school at 16 and start an apprenticeship. These are you apply for these in a similar way to a job, but the key difference is that the apprenticeship will involve some kind of education or training as well. So just as a reminder, the things that we would like you to do as part of this introductory session is to register or sign into Careerpilot, have a little go at the jobs quiz and look at more about the job sectors to find out jobs that you might be interested in. Complete the pre-16 skills map to find out more about the skills that you've already got or need to work on. Make a record of the qualifications that you're currently taking and might want to take in the future. And then finish off by exploring more about all the different choices available to you at 16. So again, just to remind you, the difference between those different pathways, A-levels, vocational and work-based, it's time for you to find out a little bit more about which one of these you're most likely to prefer. And again, you could move on and start looking at some of the qualifications available to you in the local providers. So just a reminder as well that it's not all about your GCSEs. They're obviously really important, but when it comes to applying to college or an apprenticeship or later to university perhaps, it's really important that you've got other things to have on your CV, and that could be all of these different things from volunteering, work experience, etc. So try not to give up anything that you've started doing, or if you haven't got a lot of other things to add onto your CV, then maybe now is the time to start thinking about what you might do. So again, don't be afraid to ask for support. It seems quite difficult sometimes to think that you're making the right choices, but there's lots of people out there who will be available to help you, including teachers, careers advisors and your family, parents, and obviously there's Careerpilot to look back on and check to see what your options are. You might be at the point now where you're ready to make some actions, and again I'll show you how to do that within the Action Planner tool on Careerpilot. So after today, you should be able to have quite a lot of information in your report, and when you click on View Your Full Report, it will look like this, and if you've completed all the different activities today, you'll have a really lengthy report that can be shared and built upon for when you leave school at 16. So, just before we go on, these are the things that I'm going to be asking you when we come back, and just so you have a little bit of an awareness, these are the things that I would like to try and find out by the end of this session. So I'm just going to simply type in Careerpilot, all one word, into Google, and this should be one of the top matches that comes up. If you've already signed in, or if you've got an account, you just sign in. If not, you click on Register, and this is where you complete all the information necessary. You can choose to use either a school email address or a personal email address. It's completely up to you. The only advantage of using a personal email address is that this will obviously stay with you as you move away from school or change providers. You can put your home postcode in. This is just necessary so we can have a sort of some data on where people are using the site, where they come from. And it's really important to try and remember your password, but there is a forgotten password facility, but we recommend you use a password that you commonly use. Put yourself into year 10. In this bit, you can type the school that you go to. So you simply start typing the name of the school, and then it should appear on the drop-down list, ready for you to click on. And the capture code is simply something that makes sure you're not a robot or a spammer, and you simply just type into this box the code that's shown here. So I've already got an account, so I'm just going to simply sign in and click on this button here, and the first thing that I will get to when I do, or you will get to, is you'll get to this screen, and I know that it's been successful because my name appears here. So now you're going to work your way through the various activities, and to do that you simply go to Start with You, activities for your age, Year 10. And then you've already done number 1, so you just scroll down to number 2 and you start by doing the job sectors quiz. If you've not done it before, it'd be really useful because it will show you some of the job sectors to start looking at. And then you'll start looking at different job sectors based on what your results were. So this is where you can go straight to a job that you are interested in, or you might search by job sector, or you might start with a subject. And just to show you that this is where you find different jobs related to the favourite subjects you're studying at school. So again, for people who are not sure what they want to do in the future, it's a really good starting point. So that's the sort of second task where you're finding out about jobs and the jobs that you might be interested in doing in the future. Once you've explored that section, you can then go back to the activities by your age and just remind yourself of the other activities that you want to do. So the next one is Pre-16 Skills Map, and you simply click on that link and it will talk you through the questions and what to do, and just have a think about the skills that it suggests you've got and the skills that it suggests you need to work on. And then the fourth option is look at qualifications. So when you click on this button, you'll get the Qualifications Planner, and this is where you simply click on the ones that you're doing, and you might tag the ones that you're interested in doing in the future, and then you can add the different predicted grades that you've got by going to My Qualifications, and then you can add subject detail, and that's where you can type in all the different grades that you're predicted to get. So for instance, it might be that you've been told that you're going to get a 7 in maths, so you simply type in maths and put your grade, and it's predicted. Save that, and then you can carry on through the rest of your subjects. So maybe English literature, you might be on for a grade 7 in that, and so on and so forth. And then each time you add that, again, that will appear within your career tools. The final thing that the suggested activities asks you to do, just because this is a bit that is useful for you, is choices at 16. So this is where you can go in and find out more about anything that you're interested in after school. So it might be that you're thinking about doing A-levels, for instance, and on each one of these pages there'll be a way of bookmarking that page, so you can easily go back to that at a later date. So there's tons of stuff on Careerpilot for you to look at. We've not really mentioned video stories, but there's lots of things that you can look at. So for instance, there's a video there on helping you choose your A-levels, lots and lots of different things to be found there. Or the providers page is somewhere where if you've got an idea of where you want to study after you've reached 16, you can go in there and type in the provider, or try and find the provider in your locality, and maybe look at the courses that they're offering and find out more that way. So there's lots and lots of things to do on Careerpilot, and we suggest maybe spending at least an hour completing those activities and finding out more. And just to show you that if you do sort of work closely with your parents, there's also the parent zone where your parents can go in and find out more as well. So there's a choices at 16 page within the parent zone, which you may find useful to direct your parents to, so at least they'll have a little bit of information about all the different options as well. And then it's really easy to get back to the student site from there. So there's lots and lots to have a go at on Careerpilot, and particularly in this uncertain period when you're not in school, it would be really useful for you to start doing that to start you off ready for when you go back to school. So hopefully after you've finished all of those activities and you're ready to finish, hopefully you've found out the answers to these 3 questions. And so there they are. So sixth form, college or apprenticeship are your 3 main options once you've finished year 11. There are different types of apprenticeship, and each one is a different level within the qualification table. So intermediate, advanced, higher or degree. Again, just find out more if that's something you're interested in. CV stands for curriculum vitae, so that's something that people sometimes fill out if they're applying for jobs. So it's really useful for you to be in that position, ready for when you leave school. Even if you're not starting a job or an apprenticeship at 16, it's also useful for any part-time work that you're thinking of doing. And what's a good thing about work experience, and your school may not be offering work experience this year, but that means you can still do it with some in year 11. You can get a Saturday job, you can do some voluntary work. Any work experience is useful, because there's lots and lots of things that is great, and lots of employers are really pleased when they have students who have had a lot of work experience. And some of the things that you gain from that is that it improves your skills, you meet new people. Obviously, it might help you decide if that's the type of job that you want to do in the future, and just sort of having a think about how different the workplace is compared to school. So if you can get some work experience in, maybe over the summer or year 11, that's something you really should be aiming for. So the last thing that we would like you to do is to give some feedback on Careerpilot. Might be stand a chance of winning a £10 Amazon voucher. So hopefully that's been useful. Keep busy, and we'll provide some more of these in the future.